Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap Session for Friday, February the 3rd, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription service. If you're interested in checking out, please send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. This is a group of retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade blend, and your own risk metrics. I think I keep repeating part of that. Anyway, we just had news, of course, so let's take a look at the news. Excuse me for 1 second. We had average hourly earnings came out as 0.1 versus expected 0.3. The big beat was non-farm employment change, expected at 170, came out at 227. Big beat there. And unemployment rate pretty much stayed the same. Expected 4.7, came out at 4.8. We're currently trying to go into new highs for the Globex session. We're hitting 86.50, looking for that move up into 89 area. Excuse me again for 1 second. I'm just going to put on mute for 1 second. Sorry, you guys don't need to hear me blowing my nose. We have 9:15 Eastern Time. We have Evan speaking from the FOMC, so that'll be in about 20 minutes before the open. 9:45 we have final services PMI. Whoops. And of course at 10 o'clock we've got ISM non-manufacturing, which will be the next big news today, and the factory orders. So that's the scheduled news today. Yesterday we were talking about the possibility. Oops, let's go back. Man, I'm all over the place. I have been up all night trading gold, as I told you I would do yesterday. And I'm going to take an early day today. All right, sorry. Yesterday, the main hypothesis was a rotation up and then a move down towards that 64. Secondary hypothesis was a false breakout and then a rotation back up through into the 73 and a continuation up and then closing somewhere up here in the upper distribution. We really didn't get much. We were looking for either a possibility of a breakdown and trading between the 73 and the 64, or we were looking for an inside day with a false breakout, and we got the inside day with the false breakout. You can go and watch these videos on my YouTube channel to see. This was basically Hypo 2, although Hypo 2 had us closing a little bit higher. But they got up into this LVN, and they rejected moving up away from that 73, and we basically just chopped around the 73 most of the day into the close. Overnight, where are all my charts? I'm sorry. Where's my Globex chart? There we go. There it is. Overnight, we went down to that 70 level, the value area high for the Globex session yesterday, and then we rotated and we just started slowly working our way up. Started chopping around yesterday's range high, and then we ended up on the non-farm payroll, making that move up, and we're continuing to go up towards this 89, 88. Remember that the three-day island top microcomposite VPOC is at the 88, 75, 89 area, and we're coming up into breaking inside and closing this gap that's still open here with the move down up to the low of the day we broke down. The low is 87, so we missed it so far in the Globex by 2 ticks. Let's just take a quick step back. As you know, I always like to start my day looking at the macro and micro and seeing where we are within the trend. I use a simple candlestick chart with the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA, looking for slope and separation, where the trend is going to be challenged, and where we're getting continuation or any candlestick or chart patterns. On the monthly, beautiful multi-year upward trend, tested at the, violated at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, then they took it back, and we're getting this continuation pattern. The trend is definitely up. We've got the unequalized high between the Globex and the RTH. Our Globex all-time high is 99.50. Our RTH all-time high is 96.50. Going to the weekly, you can see that the trend is still up on the weekly as well. Very good slope and separation. The trend is up on the weekly. On the daily, we're slowly working our way back. It looked like we were going to get a move down and a trend change. You can see we have not had a close below the 9 EMA or the 20 SMA. We're back above the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA and coming into this gap zone here. The trend, it looks like it's going to be a continuation pattern up. Going into the 4-hour, you can see that we've had a big spike up. We, had a downward trend, and then they took it back yesterday in the RTH session. They challenged it again in the Globex, but now we've taken it back, and we're trending up again and starting an upward trend on the 4-hour. On the 1-hour, you can see that we're accelerating, okay, good slope and separation. We have pulled away pretty far from the 9, so we could get some chop around here in the 85 to 87 area as we consolidate and possibly even pull back a bit. Look at the 30-minute, same thing, good slope, good separation to the upside. 15-minute, good slope, good separation to the upside. All the trends and all the time frames are all pointing to continuation. Watch for a move back to the 83 area. If that holds and we continue up, then I'm looking for a move into that island top and back up into the 89. So let's take a look at that structure. All right, we were in this balance with the microcomposite VPOC at 64.75. Value area high was in the 70, 69.50, 70 area. We broke out, we gapped up, created the island top, then we gapped down. Now we've created another balance zone. And important to note here that the close on the 30th was 76.25. The close on the 31st was 75. The close on the 1st was 74.75. The close yesterday was 75.75. We basically have gone nowhere but tested up and tested down, but we've closed right around the 4-day microcomposite, which is sitting here in around 76. Now we're going to likely get on the news a breakout day if we can hold above the high from yesterday at 79.75. I'd be watching this 82.25. We're going to get a open auction out of range, and likely get a gap and go day. Likely, probable, don't know, could happen, but I'd be watching this 82 as as a significant area. If we open in this area, and let's move to our daily session here. So we're going to open, if we open up here, we're going to have a gap, the half gap fill to the close from yesterday at 75.75. And let's say we open right here at 85.75. Our half gap fill is going to be 80.75, which is basically the just above the range high from yesterday. So this is, oops. And I should put a approximate right now because we don't actually have a close open yet. And we're going to have a range gap as well, and that's say 85 quarter and 79.75. That's going to put us at that 82.50. So the range half gap, half of the gap, the mid of the gap is going to be 82.50. And I'm going to put that as a trade level because that is also that just one tick above the CLVN. In fact, I'm going to just move this down to 82.25 as a trade level because I'll be watching how we handle that level. Our overnight high so far, and again I say so far because it can go even higher, is 86.50. Our overnight low is down at 76.50. Just one tick, basically right at our, what was our value area high? It was 76.75, and our, so one tick right separating the value area high and the naked VPOC. They stole the VPOC into the close. You can see we had a VPOC shift on this close in the last 15 minutes of trading. All right, so levels, easy peasy, 79, 75. I'm not paying attention to this value area because it's the open overnight low and the VPOC just below the value area low at 71 and 66.75. And then levels to the upside, we've got that microcomposite VPOC, the naked close, the naked VPOC up at the 89 area, and then we've got the LVN, the microcomposite LVN at the 91.25, and then we've got the 94. And then the two all-time highs. So we are going to get an open auction out of range. Our daily ATR is running at our full session 20 period daily ATR is running at 1535. Off of the low overnight of 76.50, our daily upside ATR target is at 85.75, and we've already breached it. All right, what does this mean? It means that we've traveled the average range already in the Globex. So we've had a big Globex session, and we're likely to see some balance on the open, but I'm looking for the possibility, a strong possibility, of a gap and go day and failure to come back and close the gap here. So my main hypothesis is an open auction out of range, or an open test drive, or an open drive. A move down, hold the 82.25, and then push up into the 89, chop around in the 89 area in the island top, closing the gap, and then grinding our way up and having a drift up into the overnight weekend and the end of the Friday RTH session, possibly coming up and taking out the unequalized high up here. if we've got the range to do it. And I don't know if we're going to have the range to do it because we already have breached, but this is an important factor to take note that if we get above this 85. Now, our weekly ATR critical mass, I should say, is not going to be a factor today because our week open is 82. So if you take 2282 plus the daily upside or the daily ATR, our weekly critical mass is 97.25. So that's all the way up here. Now, our weekly upside ATR target is still up here. Our week low so far is that 62.25. So we don't even get into our weekly ATR until we get into the 2305. So watch the critical mass here. If we get above the critical mass, we get above the all-time high in the RTH session, look for the all-time high in the Globex and look for a trend day coming up and testing into the 2300s and testing that upside daily ATR target. So my main hypothesis, like I said, open auction, out of range, open test drive. I'll move down to the 82.25 area, hold the gap, leave a gap behind, get a gap and go day, push up into the island top, chop around in the 89, and then push up towards that 96 area, possibly breaking and equalizing the high. Hypothesis number 2 is a failure to take out the overnight high or just take it out and then find responsive sellers and move down, close the gap, chop around in the 80 and then get a close again right where we've closed near the last 4 days back in this balance in around the 75. So that's my hypothesis number 2. Hypo 3 is an open drive, leaving the 82, leaving the gap, going right into the 89 right away, chopping here and then pushing up and pushing into the 2300s and closing somewhere up here in around the 23, possibly completing the rule of 10 and a move to the 2310 as a gap and go trend day. The 4th hypothesis is an open auction, out of range, immediate push down, chop between 79, 75, and 76, then get failure and push down and come back down into this balance right here and close somewhere down here in the 64.75. So those are my 4 main hypotheses. Take a quick look at gold. Gold is, as I had mentioned earlier, has been chopping around this microcomposite, composite VPOC. It's shifted up one tick from 1590 up to 16 just with the volume that we're putting in here. This is the most traded price going all the way back to 2008, October 2008. So it's going to act as a magnet. We tried to break out yesterday and they failed. They got up into that target at the 25.90 area, then they fell back in. Overnight, we've tested down. We tested the other side of that balance at 08 area, and then we've rotated back up through, and now here we are chopping around the composite VPOC. Not expecting gold to do much today except for chop. Levels to pay attention to, 2090, and same as yesterday, and the 0840 and breakouts. Otherwise, look for them to rotate back and forth around the 1216. Anyway, sorry I was a little bit disorganized this morning. I just I have not slept. Literally, I've had maybe 2 hours of sleep. I'm basically done my trading today. I had a fairly decent night in gold, but I did trade the non-farm, hit my goal for the day, and I am done. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.